Okay, King Kong escapes. Where the hell do I start with this one? King Kong vs. Godzilla proved to be worth the effort as it became the highest grossing film of either monster's franchise. With the dough raked in and Toho still holding on to the rights of Kong for a few more years at least, one would think that the company would milk the franchise for every last yen. Kinda like what they did with the Godzilla franchise? Yeah, that didn't happen, although they did try. Before the giant crab monster Ebirah took on Japan's King of the Monsters in Ebirah Horror from the Deep, the original pen script featured Kong in the supporting role instead of Godzilla. However, it was decreed that Godzilla would be more profitable and the script was changed. However, they did seem to forget that Godzilla doesn't have the same characteristic traits as Kong. If you watch the film today with that knowledge in your mind, it's super easy to picture Kong in Godzilla's shoes or feet. Godzilla doesn't wear shoes. Not all hope was lost, however, as the following year, Kong's second Japanese Escalade was released, King Kong Escapes, directed by Godzilla veteran Ishiro Honda. By the way, why do people feel the need to put an N in his first name? Like, nobody puts a P in Lee, P. Copyright Lee Smith 2017. The film begins with a United States submarine under the sea, where we are introduced to the three main players of the film. The medical lieutenant discovers two authority officers looking over ruins and landmarks made to honour a god by the name of King Kong. Yeah, nowadays people just know that Kong exists just as much as they know homework exists. We don't like to bring it up, or sooner or later it bites in the ass. After, guess what? Crashing into rocks, they have to venture to the island, now called Mondu Island. I guess Kong just got lost on his way back to Faroe Island. Kong is eventually woken from his rest when the lieutenant comes across the Gorillosaurus, a frequent Godzilla opponent who appeared in Destroy All Monsters and Godzilla's Revenge. In an homage to the original film, Kong defeats the creature and guess what? Falls in love! Christ, will this guy just bang a gorilla already? Oh wait. Meanwhile in the North Pole, a mysterious lady from a mysterious native country is negotiating with a terrorist by the name of Doctor Who, not even going to get into it, to harvest a powerful element called Element X. What happened to A to V? At first they try to use a robotic replica of the original Kong, however it goes to pot. Instead they try to capture the real Kong and through the power of Bluetooth, discover the element and to use it through their will. Along the way, the three heroes clash with the evil doctor, the mysterious woman switches sides, and Kong himself concludes the film with a clash against his metallic counterpart and the cold-blooded murder of Doctor Who. I tell you, these films are just getting stranger and stranger. Is this film a step up from the previous? Kinda. Well, this film is bad, it's really bad, but by God is it entertaining. Firstly, the characters here are much stronger than in the last. Rhodes Redson is quite good in the lead, doing his best Charlton Heston impression, and the supporting cast do their job. Although, the theme of Kong in this film does make my ears bleed at some points.
Kong! Kong! King Kong!
Don't call.
Doctor Who is a fun classic over-the-top villain, and well, at least the story has 3 acts. It just feels like there was more passion placed into this film than the previous. That's not to say there was no passion in the last film, but when you have a film called King Kong vs. Godzilla, there's a definite result. The creature effects are also much better. The Gorillosaurus suit looks great. Kong on the other hand still looks horrible, but not as horrible as the last time. His face is more detailed, the arms aren't as long, allowing the actor more freedom in the action scenes, but by God is his face. What the hell is with his face? It looks like they create the sculpture of his head and then proceeded to smash it with a sledgehammer. I mean, his mouth doesn't even open when he roars. This brings me into the negatives of the film. While the plot does flow, it does poorly. This film and the third act begins to drag. There's a period where there's no action, no character development, not that like there's any to begin with, and no Kong. Kong has actually less screen time in this film than one would think. It's not Godzilla 2014 bad, but his presence is missed. The film introduces many plot threads that go nowhere, the most prominent being Element X. After Kong is being controlled to uncover the element, the MacGuffin just goes away after he gives up. Judging by my criticisms, one might be under the impression that this film is a boring mess to get through. On the contrary, this film is hilarious for all the wrong reasons. The film includes so many just out of nowhere hilarious scenes, such as this.
I don't trust the pilot. And I don't think they're Japanese.
Oh, look, there he goes, oh, he's off, he's off, hides the kite, go on, son. Bless him, he tried. So in conclusion, like the last film, I highly recommend investing into both. They recently came out on Blu-ray to coincide with the release of Kong Skull Island. However, neither of these films have the Japanese version with them, although the Japanese cut of Escapes is essentially the American cut with a few little tidbits and the natural audio. So yeah, in a strange way, I still recommend this film. For the love of God, it's one of those films you should watch on a rainy Sunday morning when you're a bit under the weather, have a cup of tea and strap in for a strange session.